Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of World Building Let's Play series with me. I'm OzoneB. In the last one, we got an enchanting table set up and did a little bit of enchanting. I'm kind of an idiot though because I said I didn't have enough lapis. Well, I do. I did go mining for more, but I realized I had a bunch more lapis in block form that I'd crafted up. So, yeah, I'm just kind of an idiot. But as you can see, I'm all glowied up. And furthermore, I made a bunch of bookcases and went out exploring. I found another town that had a librarian in it and stole some books from them. Not quite there for a full setup, as you can see, but getting close and making good progress. Now, while I was out exploring, you see that pillar sticking into the air behind me? I found something very, very interesting. I was walking along and heard a lot of zombie noises that were very close by, and after looking around, I couldn't find a cave anywhere, and so I started poking holes in the ground to see what I could find. Eventually, I did find a cave right under the surface of the dirt, and zombies came just pouring out, and after quite a battle, honestly, eventually I found the zombie spawner and got it lit up. And that gives me some really cool ideas for later on. We're definitely going to be utilizing that. And I've made that giant pillar to help mark the location. You can see just how close it is to the town and to the house here. So we're definitely going to be utilizing that. Now, if you look behind me, way off in the fog, you can see some spruce trees in the distance. I was really excited to find this spruce forest, and honestly, spruce wood is one of my favorite woods to build with in Minecraft. I like the color and I like the texture that the variants have. The trapdoors look better than any of the other trapdoors around. So I'm really excited to be able to add spruce wood to the mix of blocks and pallets that we've got available to us in this series so far. So this is great news. I still have not found jungle or acacia. This is not much that big of a loss to me. One of these days I'll find some, but spruce is something that is really excited and I'm very glad to have found. In the last episode, I said that we would focus on getting some infrastructure during this episode, and I still think that's the best course of action. This has been my tree growing area for quite some time, but it's the only flat area around for a little while. I mean, we chose these hills because they're interesting, not because they're flat. But in this area, I think the next thing to do is going to be to clear out some of these trees and get a barn and get some animals and make a nicer area for crops so we can get some infrastructure set up to help support this season as we progress. And it's done. What I'm thinking about here is that we'll run a path right off of this stairwell up and over this way to the end. I want the barn at the end, I think, here. And I was originally thinking about doing some farming on each side of the path, kind of having the path go down the middle here. I may yet do that, but this ground is a lot more hilly than I had remembered because it was so obscured by trees. My natural inclination is to just remove all that dirt, flatten it out, but I'm going to try not to do that. I want to try to work with the existing terrain. That's always been a goal. But I'm going to have to fill in some bits of it, definitely. And in order to make the farm or the barn, definitely this mound needs to go. I'm actually thinking if we look at this level of terrain that we can put the barn basically in this L shape. And I'm thinking more like a lean-to type of manger-esque type of arrangement instead of like a typical American barn with a peaked roof and full sides. I'm thinking something much more open and airy and yeah, more like a lean-to. And I'm thinking that this barn will largely be just for show, just for decoration. I'm thinking that as we get further along, I'm going to want more redstone based farms, and those might actually be buried underground, you know. But we'll see. We'll figure it out. I think the first thing right now is getting the path and stuff down. And I am thinking this side of the mounds of this side of this top part to be the path. I don't want it to go all the way to the edge because I want it to be somewhat natural in appearance. I think we can make it meander over this way and then down through this depression over into toward these stairs. I think that works. I think that works. And then that gives us this side in order to plant crops. And while I don't want just to plant crops directly on this natural ground, I really want to have these crops and fields be both pretty and useful. And by useful, I mean I want them to be something that I can flick a lever on and have water wash away all the crops. So I'm not manually harvesting all of the crops. You have to manually plant them even still in that scenario, but I don't want to manually harvest them. So making that work with this terrain as it isn't going to work. I'm going to have to terraform a little bit to try to get something together. And I don't want to just have like another set of retaining wall here to make things more or less flat. So this is going to take some time to try to figure out how best to make it work. So I've marked out an area here with netherrack that we got from digging up the ruined portal, and I've been playing around with the water flows. And I like this layout because I can place a single bucket of water and have every bit of the ground be washed away and clear all the crops, taking it down into just this one corner piece. So this is kind of what I'm thinking about with trying to work with the terrain. And I'm really glad that I was able to make this work. This over here is a different crop area, and it's flat and square. It is my first idea for how to make this work. I probably will still go with this because, you know, when it comes to farming, you definitely have small, flat, square areas. So this will probably be wheat, and I think this will be carrots. And yeah, and then we've got the barn marked out here, or the lean-to marked out here with netherrack, and it's fairly small. This area honestly isn't that big. I didn't want to terraform too far out because it's just very steep straight down. I didn't want to make it seem like I'm trying to use every square inch of this space. But I did knock down this big hill, well, this little hill right here, and fill out this just a little bit more. Like I said, I don't want the building to go all the way to the edge of the land around it, although this face is already very natural and steep, and it makes sense to just do it there too. This area I've pathed out to be like a courtyard where you would bring the animals out and work with them here before going off up the path to do whatever you're going to do. So I think this is coming together pretty well. I do think that this area over here I'm going to look at next and doing something probably sugarcane over here. And again, I don't want it to go all the way to the edge. And this is another one of those very steep natural faces. So this is the area I'm going to work on next. And like I said, sugarcane going here. that is looking pretty nice, if I do say so myself. I went with a wheat farm that is running multiple levels, not just a straight square, and kind of stair-stepping down this way. This is a catch basin at the bottom for when I flush the water out. With sugarcane is very simple. It's just these rows. There's a water source here with some slabs on top, so I don't have to fall into it. And this is all manual harvest, just sitting here picking everything up. Still, pretty easy and all around works pretty well. I put up these walls in order to just keep it all contained and keep the sugarcane from flying off the back and making it hard to get. Now this is the redstone that I was talking about. So flicking this lever should lower all of these trapdoors, letting the water flow down over all of these crops, breaking the crops and washing all of the crops and the seeds into this little catch basin. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for all of these crops to finally get finished growing, and I just got tired of waiting, so we're going to do it anyway. Now on this side, I've got much the same, and I think it's going to get, this one's going to get triggered in the same way, washing water down over all of the carrots, of which I have collected only 3. Now when we get done flushing this down, we'll have a few more to be able to replant in here. You can see there's a few water sources, like right there and over there around, and there's one somewhere underneath one of these. I struggled to get all of this farmland hydrated because apparently, see, there's another water source there and then one down there. So even though those two are right next to one another, this water source will not hydrate this farmland on a different Y level. So each Y level needs its own water source to hydrate the farmland. So, and I started out by putting them underneath these half slabs, and like one right here. But yeah, anyway, they probably should have all been in the middle like these because they'll do a 4x4 radius around it. So anyway, it's done. I put half slabs all the way around it so that I can go into and out of the garden without jumping over it and ruining the farmland, stomping on it, and reverting it back into just regular dirt. I do have to be careful when I go up and down, but at least the half slabs will help me to protect that. So, maiden voyage, virgin test here. Let's get it. Let's flip this lever and see if it does what I think it should do, which let's hope. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. Boy, that was anticlimactic. Oh, there we go. There we go. The lever was just on the wrong side. All right. We lost, let's see, some of the carrots ended up on these half slabs, which I suppose is all right. Didn't really seem to go very far. And some of the wheat and seeds ended up on the half slabs. Again, not that big a deal. This catch basin, it just dumped it all out onto these boards, which I guess is okay. I knew there'd be a manual pickup. I'm a little surprised. I kind of expected it to all just go into here and stay in this water, but I should know better, I suppose. Nevertheless, that worked out pretty well. I just had to have the lever in the right position to begin with. Now, does it stop? Yes, it does. And so now all the water is retreating, flowing away, and we start replanting all of the crops that we just collected. But I'll do that in a minute. Over here is the barn, and we've got some cows already here, and this one is for chickens. I have trapdoors here to keep them from going into the hoppers because I want to collect all those eggs. Now, apparently some of the baby chickens that I started in there didn't make it, which is all right. That's what I was going to do in the end. But at least this is somewhat of a collection system, and we got 2 chickens in there to start getting some eggs. Eventually, I want to make one of those automatic chicken cookers. And boy, these cows, they keep trying to go through these trapdoors. I like the trapdoors. They give it some dimensionality, but apparently it messes with the AI. And when you come around back here, all you see are the cow heads sticking through. and they don't know what to do about that. Probably all the other animals that I get caught in that I have in this barn will probably all do the same thing. We got 3 other pens, which are as yet unpopulated, but I intend to have pigs and sheep and horses. If I can ever find a saddle, I would love to just go riding around this map on a horse, but yeah, you need a saddle first. So anyway, I think this area turned out really well. I did some work on the paths and added all these half slabs. We got these overhead lanterns, basically, both off of the barn and over the garden here and over the path. So this area is all lit up more than enough, nice and safe. And I think this turned out quite well. This area over here between the carrot farm and the barn is a nice gradual step down. So this is probably the next thing that I'm going to be building on at some point, and this will be the path that we have in order to get down there. I have no idea what I'm going to put down there yet, but that's probably another area to go. This is just really steep. I really don't see me making a path down this way, and I had thought to keep this area open in order to be able to make a path down into this valley. But again, it's really steep. I just don't see me going in that direction. But only time will tell, and only time will tell. That is a really good start. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Now it's time to replant everything. Well, I was out wandering around my base nearby, and in addition to having some visitors in the form of the bad omen effect, we've got another visitor right here. What do you have, Mr. Trader? I like the idea of that. We don't have any vines. I'll at least do one of those so we can start growing them. And then some cactus. Again, don't have any of that. I'll do one of those and can start growing it. Rooted dirt, podzol. Don't care about either one of those. Our emeralds are pretty precious right now, but these two will let us start growing these things. And yeah, let's go up and just add it to the farm. In the meantime, sorry guys, I need those leads. You, sir. I appreciate your business. Just like that, we got 2 more farms going in the little garden area here. This is great. And now we got a full setup around the enchanting table. Not enough levels, but I think that's what we're going to work on in the next episode. That zombie spawner over there is calling my name, and I've got a lot of crazy ideas about it. It's going to be a lot of work to put all those ideas in order, but that's what we're here for. Make things cool and make things pretty. Hope you enjoyed everything we got done today. I sure enjoyed it. I feel a lot better about having a place for animals and getting some crops growing now. And yeah, this series is coming along great. Please leave a comment below if you have any ideas for something that I should be doing differently or something that we need to go take a look at and work on. All right, carry on, my wayward son. I'm out.